Hello and welcome to day 3 of Video Every Day in August. I've made it to day 3. I'm having all of these ideas of what to do at 11 o'clock the night before a film. There's just something about getting into bed and lying there, and then suddenly my brain is like, "Oh, all of these cool ideas," and then I wake up and my brain's like, "I haven't got the motivation to do anything I thought of last night." Because I'm very ill, I've got a nice cup of chicken bovril, because apparently I'm a pensioner at a Norwich game. I'm really bonged up on my nose. My throat's a little bit air. I haven't got anywhere near as many ulcers, but I still feel like there's concrete in my head. One of my favourite things about buying a DVD is listening to the director's commentary. Two of my favourite director's commentaries are the first Guardians of the Galaxy and of course Hot Fuzz, where Edgar Wright and Quentin Tarantino basically just talk about their favourite films. So I thought I'd dig up my short film that I released nearly a year ago, the second 40, and do a little commentary of it for you. I want to focus on what I learned and really reflect on this, and just sort of go, okay, what works, what doesn't, and next time I make a short film at this scale, what am I going to do differently? So without further ado, let's go. So July 14 was the company, the community interest company run by the amazing John Hales, who made the short film possible. There was about 8 young people and John got together to make a series of short films in a project called Storyboard, and without all of their support and guidance I couldn't have made this film, and I would not be where I am today. A bit of shameless self-promotion. Now this scene here is a big old mix of stuff we shot. Like this shot here we filmed at Lowestoft and Yarmouth Rugby Club. Huge thank you to them for letting us film there. And we went and shot there on one of their game days. And then came back later and filmed this bit on... Oh, look, that's me. Now, I think this scene here, I needed to storyboard. I didn't do a lot of pre-visualization for this film in terms of test shoots and storyboarding. I did a kind of a shot list that I wanted. I really went into everything blind. Now, some of that was down to time, but when I think back to it, maybe doing an all-nighter for some storyboards would have saved hours on set and would have made this sequence in particular look a whole level better. I like the shaky cam in this, and I like the illusion that it creates that we are playing in a real game, but I think the pace is a little bit off and you don't really get the impact at the end. You don't really understand that he has just been injured at the end. Perfect timing for the battery to run out on my camera. So back to the film. I don't really like that font, to be honest. Now this is shot in this room that I'm in now, and I had loads of fun with the set design here to try and build a room that would try and look like a rugby fan's room. We've got the branded cup on the desk, the ball and the shirts hung up above him, and the water bottle on the left. But again, it was kind of all thrown together at the last minute. And I think if I'd have actually sat down and planned out what I wanted the room to look like and spent more time designing it, then probably would have got a bit smoother. Also, I really like the VFX in this. All of this stuff on the monitor is that's all CG'd on. And I think what sells the effect as well is the light coming onto his face. I think that works really well. And I chose that moment to sort of pause it at, because I thought it was nice and symbolic of him reaching up and trying to reach to the heavens for the ball, and it's sort of just that moment of him actually being in his element where he always wanted to be. with a little cameo of me in the blue shirt on the right. And the whole thing of this scene, I think what creates the illusion is this whole light and dark. Such a massively bright light behind Agnes, who plays his mum, and all of this darkness in his room, and there's just this physical border between the darkness of his room and his life and the light of outside. So well done, Dan, the DP, for that, because he did a good job. This was quite fun to shoot, actually. It went really well. We got some really good performances out of it.
I want to see you do something with your life. I want to see some of the ambition that you had before. Say something.
No. Why should I? Why should I say anything? Why should I do anything? I said leave, shut the door on the way out.
Well, why don't you go and say something?
I'm very aware that this film is probably about 11 minutes long, so let's get through. This scene, a couple of things about that bit there. You can see the sound guys moving around in the back, and it's shaky AF. So tripod and disguise the sound guys better. But actually, considering the conditions we were in, that's pretty much only lit from the interior light of my car, and we still got a pretty cool thing. So I think it turned out very well. I love these shots. I had the light going out, causing him to move off. That was really nice from Dan. I think he got these shots while I was actually off. He sort of acted as like a second unit director and got this little sequence while I was off prepping for another scene. And I just love this little bit here of how it just builds and builds of him going back to the club, back to his old familiar place. And we've got another cheeky cameo from me come up again. This one, I think I should have storyboarded this sequence as well. Also, the sound design could have done with a little bit more work. The sound design was a little rushed by myself at the end. But we just want to get this sense of an overwhelming noise and everything about the scene overwhelming Tim. But I do think it does create a nice tone and a nice sense of pace. It just sort of overwhelms him.
Bloody hell, it's about time.
And this is just a simple two-shot scene. It went pretty well, although we were fighting light all the way through. Vincent was brilliant. He did it, considering he was a boom operator and a sound designer. He did a great performance. And I loved his French accent, because he is French. And I just thought the French culture of rugby would work really well with his character. Great makeup as well from Leanne. She did a brilliant job with that. The only thing I'd say about this is it cuts a lot. Now this shot, we've cut to another sequence where I probably should have planned it out more. We kind of turned up and we had this team of young guys, and I was kind of like, okay, now what do I do? But I think it flows really well. I think this it sets a nice element of emotion and a distance between Tim and what's going on in the pitch, and building that frustration. I just think maybe my shot choice, possibly I would have maybe wanted to put the camera in on the Ronin and got in with the guys with their playing, and then cut back to this to create more of a pace and add a more dynamic to the scene, instead of just having all of these static shots that are a bit boring. But yeah, good performance from Tom as well. I think he managed to grasp the anger and the frustration really well. This bit here was shot over 2 days. The first day we turned up to set and we hardly filmed anything because batteries were running out on cameras, SD cards were missing, and that was just me not planning and preparing enough for the shoot, not going to the studio the day before and making sure everything was ready. So again, it's just planning. And also we where we shot over a couple of different days, we're using different cameras, and so it was quite hard to match them. So I do think going forward I use the same camera over. But I think this is a nice little moment between the two of them. This scene as well, I think adds quite a bit of emotional impact to it. And there's some good performances.
Maybe coaching wasn't the right thing for you.
I just think sound in this one, we didn't quite get the levels right. It was quite quiet.
I miss the game. I miss playing the game. I don't want to coach, and I don't want your pity.
Now this scene was the first thing we shot at Woodbridge Military Barracks at their gym there with their wheelchair rugby team. And the wheelchair that Fabian's on, they actually lent us for the day, and they had about 3 proper wheelchair rugby chairs there for us to use, that we could use. But this is a nice little scene, just sort of easing Tim into this new environment, sort of setting up almost the midpoint of the scene, of the film rather. And it was so much fun to shoot with these guys. They are so awesome and amazing people, and they were so welcoming, and none of them had any acting experience, but they were all brilliant.
You gonna join in?
No.
Why not?
I think that's quite quick as well. I'm not sure about my cuts on there. I think that cuts quite quickly. But the stuff on the Ronin was really nice. Getting in there in the action was brilliant. And then the pull focus that took us about 6 takes to try and get it through. And then this scene here, the dream sequence, this was kind of a very last minute addition that I wanted to put in. And I think if I went back and redid this film, I wouldn't just have it like this. I'd actually have quite a surreal dream thing with him walking again, him out maybe on the pitch with a ball in his hand and things happening to him. I just think that would have a better emotional impact. But that's just how I've progressed in my creativity in the years since I made this. Now this is a brilliant scene. It was so much fun to film. This was the first thing we shot when we got to Woodbridge. And I just think it's such a lovely atmosphere.
Sit there and stare.
Just lovely bit of character for Tim, which is his big moment to make the decision whether he's gonna apply or not.
Are you gonna play in those wheels? Are you gonna play with that face?
And I think it just sort of shows the spunk that he's got. And then this is the first bit of music we hear in the whole film. And I wanted to save the music for this bit, just to enhance the emotion that this last scene needed to carry. And out of all of them, this is my favourite scene. I think I didn't storyboard again this scene, and I probably should have done, but to be honest, we just went on set, we grabbed a camera, 3 cameras, and we just shot stuff. And this scene at the end there, it's an amazing performance from Tom. The camera worked brilliantly, the choreography, the guys at the Wheelchair Rugby Club helped us choreograph the sequence of how it would go. The song choices were brilliant. And this last little bit of performance with Tom was just spectacular. And I think it rounds off the film perfectly. And honestly, I love this scene so much. It was originally about 7 minutes longer, but I think keeping it this length, keeping it this short, is honestly the best decision we made in terms of the editing. I have to huge thanks to John actually for this scene, because he helped me direct it, and I don't think we would have got the emotion that we did out of this without John's direction. And fade to black. So there we go. That was my little director's commentary of the second 40. Thank you very much for joining me. It was lovely to chat about this. I had a huge fun shooting this, and it couldn't have been done without lots of amazing people. And watching this back now has actually reminded me of the intense satisfaction and pride I have when I watch back something so emotive that I've made, and it's kind of made me want to go and make something equally as emotive as that last scene. That last scene is probably my favourite thing that I've ever made, and I want to go out now and make something equally as amazing as that. So, thank you very much for watching. Join me again tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm doing. I need to start filming about 3 videos in a day to be able to keep up with everything. I know that's not what V.E.D.A. is about, but I just have not got the time, and I've got 2 weeks where I'm going to be away. So thank you very much for watching. Please consider subscribing, like below, leave us a comment on what you thought of the film. There'll be a link in the description to watch the film in full without my ugly mug all over it, and I'll see you tomorrow.